Hello, I am Fast Lawyer. I am with Oculus Rift Reviews. Today we're going to review and play Final Assault VR. Final Assault VR is a game by Phaserlock Interactive. It's on the Steam store for the HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and Windows Mixed Reality. It normally retails for $29.99. I believe it goes on sale for $19.99 if I'm not mistaken. I actually got a free Steam key from the Steam Curator Connect program to review this game. This is a very good game. In fact, I think it's the best game of its type in VR. The visuals are absolutely amazing. The battlefields look amazing with everything that's going on. The maps are very detailed. If you look at the maps closely, there's lots of little details in every section. The choke points, just the different layouts for each map. I believe there's currently 15 different maps you can play in. The different troops available. I believe there's currently 6 different divisions. You can either choose the US or Germany. And within those, there's 6 different divisions. And each one of them plays different. I've actually only gotten used to one of these divisions, and the one that you see me playing right now, that's the one that I've been playing with the most, just trying to figure out the ins and outs of this configuration, because there's different divisions and they have different units, and you just have to get used to the synergy between these different units. So I've been sticking with this one. I played mostly the campaign. I've had lots of fun. I'm not usually an RTS fan. That's not usually the type of game I like. But this one is very easy to get into, but there's lots of depths there once you start playing and you start noticing all the different little strategies going on. There's micromanagement just because it's a big battlefield and you have to keep track of all your troops, and you have to counter what the opponent is trying to do on the battlefield, and you have to figure out each map and what the best strategies are for each map. What are the choke points? What are the best locations on the map to get my troops in advantageous positions to win the match. So there's lots of little details in this game. It's real easy to call it rock, paper, scissors, but it's definitely more complicated than that. There are obviously some units that are better against others. So obviously your air units are going to be really good against ground units. So you need to protect against air, and you do that by getting either your own air support or by getting anti-aircraft units. And so each unit definitely has its strengths but also its weaknesses, and you have to figure those out. One of the things that I had trouble with is there's this tank unit that the opponent had access to that I didn't have, and that tank unit was just demolishing everything that I threw at it, and I just couldn't figure out. I was just running out of units trying to counter this one tank. Eventually I just figured out that you just have to control certain choke points, and then that tank becomes vulnerable once you have your different units all going in on this tank. I had lots of fun playing this game, but I did notice some issues. One of the issues that is what you're seeing right here at the moment on the video is that the planes do require a little too much micromanagement. It seems that the planes are not the best as far as attacking appropriate things within its path. Like if there's another airplane in the area that goes by it, it will attack, and that's great. But if there's like troops nearby, ground troops that are within the path of its flight, it won't attack them. So you basically have to micromanage the airplanes a lot more than any of the other units, because you do have to direct its path, and it can get a little tedious when you have to just continuously do that over and over again, because obviously the troops are going to go in different directions. Now you can set a certain path for it, but I notice it's just not very effective because it just changes too much. So if you have airplanes, you do have to micromanage them a lot more than the other troops, because you know the tanks, the artillery, the ground troops, they'll control a certain area, and you can set up so they all support each other and they all control a certain choke point, and so you can set them, and as long as you have them configured correctly, you can pretty much guarantee that they're going to do their job. And you only have to keep a little bit of a look on them just to see that, you know, they haven't broken, and you might have to reinforce them with whatever is missing. But for the most part, with ground troops, you'll know what they'll do. One of the mistakes that I was making is that I was too aggressive, and I was sending out my tanks to just go as far as possible on the battlefield, and you just can't do that. You can't do that with any of the troops. Even if you have an advantage, you can't do it. You really have to strategize, see, okay, this is the area I want to take over. This is how I'm going to support it. I'm going to support the tanks with artillery. I'm going to support my artillery with ground troops. And so you really have to strategize every little part of the map. So there's micro battles going all around the map, and you have to not lose track of any of them, and just make sure that although you're going to lose some battles along the way that maybe aren't expected, that you don't lose the entire units that you have in that area, that you know they're properly supported so that they can continue defending the area that they have, and then once they start doing well, you can go ahead and advance and take a little bit more area. And you'll definitely want to flank your opponent, so sometimes you'll be at a stalemate with your opponent and you're just going back and forth and there seems like there's no option. Just set, you know, other troops to go around them and strafe them, and usually that's what breaks them open for you to do your run at the enemy base. So there's a lot of going on in this game. Like I mentioned, the maps look gorgeous. I pretty much only spent time with this one division, and each division does take time to get used to, so there's lots of synergy that you just got to get used to when playing this game. I had a lot of fun, but it's definitely not for everyone. I think you have to enjoy RTS games just a little bit to enjoy this game. Although I do think this is something that can maybe convert you, because I think it is great for beginners. So if you're new to the RTS genre and want to try it out, this is something that I would recommend. Some of the other RTS games I've tried are just a little too complex and they just take too long to get into. I think this game within maybe not the first hour, but maybe the second hour, you'll start getting all the different strategies and start, you know, having success on the battlefield, because definitely my first few battles I was losing pretty badly. So after the first tutorial I was pretty much getting smoked until I realized, you know, my mistakes and what I needed to do to start winning. Another issue that I noticed is frame rate drops. In this gameplay, actually I had played 2 earlier matches that I won, and this battle here took about 40 minutes. So altogether I would say this gameplay on this day was about 2 hours total, and this is the third match that again took about 40 minutes, and about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes along the way I really started to notice frame rate drops. So I'm not sure why, but it seems like with extended gameplay this game does start being laggy, and it was very noticeable towards the end. So I was glad it was over at the end, because it was really getting almost to the point where I didn't want to play because of the frame rate drops issue. Because of that frame rate drop issue, I do have to drop the rating for this game. I think it's the best of its kind, and it looks wonderful, and the animations are great. This is basically like my dream growing up when I was playing with G.I. Joe action figures on the battlefield, and I was just imagining all this stuff happening. And now we get to see it in VR, and it looks absolutely amazing. I played 2D RTS games and it's just not the same. You see all the explosions going on all around the place. You see the ground troops getting annihilated by aircraft. It's just looks amazing in VR. It's fun to play. The only thing is, I wish you could go in first-person view and get in the battlefield yourself versus the God view that you're always in. But I had lots of fun. I do recommend this game. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Even though, again, I'll reiterate, I think it's the best game of its type. It is in early access, so it definitely has a chance to polish up and run even better, and maybe bring some of that other views. I would just love to see this ground level first person view. I think that would be totally amazing. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but that would be my wish. But I had fun. I super enjoyed this game. I'm not a big RTS fan, but I had fun here. There's really challenging gameplay in the campaign. I think the total gameplay I've had is a little over 5 hours just in the campaign, and I haven't finished it yet. And again, that's because I had a lot of early struggles. Maybe some people finished it a lot faster than that, but I do recommend this game. It really is the best of its type in VR. I would love to rate it higher. Maybe once it exits early access, I will have a chance to do that, and hopefully the frame rate drops issue gets fixed. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. I'm with Oculus Rift Reviews. I do recommend this game. I think it's totally worth the normal price, but I do think it's been on sale for $19.99 if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, go out and get this game. It's super fun. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but I got a free Steam key through the Steam Curator Connect program. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
Well, hot dog. You done it. Good job, Commander.